In 9 years as a 911 operator, I have heard things that never leave you. A mother screaming over her child. A man whispering because the intruder was still in the house. A teenager calling from a car that was already underwater. I have heard all of it. I have learned to stay calm, to keep my voice steady, to never let what I hear affect what I do. But on October 31st, 2022, I received a call that broke every rule I had ever made for myself, because the person on the other end had been dead for 3 years. My name is Carol Hendricks. I work night shift at the Denver, Colorado Emergency Dispatch Center, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 5 nights a week. October 31st started like any other Halloween shift. Drunk calls, noise complaints, a few minor accidents. Nothing unusual. At exactly 2:33 a.m., my console lit up. Incoming call. Unknown number. I put on my headset and answered. 911, what is your emergency? Silence. Not dead silence. The kind of silence where you can tell someone is there, breathing, listening. I tried again. 911, can you hear me? What is your emergency? And then, a voice. Female. Soft. Trembling. Carol, please help me. I froze. In 9 years, no caller had ever used my name. We don't give our names. Ever. I kept my voice professional. Ma'am, what is your emergency? Where are you located? Another silence. Then, Carol, it's Sarah. I need you to find me. Sarah. My hands went cold on the keyboard. Because I knew a Sarah. Sarah Brennan. My colleague, my friend. For 6 years we had worked side by side at this exact dispatch center. Sarah Brennan had died 3 years ago. Car accident. November 2019. I had been at her funeral. I told myself it was someone else. Same name, different person. I kept my voice completely steady. Ma'am, can you tell me your full name and location? It's Sarah Brennan, Carol. You know me. Please. I don't have much time. I ran the number through our system immediately. My hands were shaking, but my voice was not. The number came back in 3 seconds. Disconnected. Out of service since November 2019. Registered to Sarah Ann Brennan. Date of birth, March 14th, 1986. Date of death, November 8th, 2019. I could not breathe. I could not speak. For the first time in 9 years, I had nothing to say. The voice came again, quieter this time, like she was running out of something. Carol, listen to me. You need to go to the old building. You know which one. The one on Remington Street, room 14. Go now, before they find it. Then, the line went dead. I sat at my console for 5 full minutes, not moving, not breathing properly. My supervisor came over, asked if I was okay. I showed him the call log. He stared at the screen for a long time. Then he called our tech team. They confirmed what I already knew. The call had come in. It had lasted 1 minute and 47 seconds. It had come from Sarah Brennan's disconnected number, which had been out of service for exactly 3 years. I knew the building on Remington Street, an old dispatch annex, closed since 2018. Sarah and I had worked there together before it shut down. I drove there after my shift ended at 6 a.m. I don't know why. I just knew I had to go. The building was locked, dark, abandoned. I still had my old access card from when I worked there. It still worked. I walked through empty corridors, dust on every surface, dead screens, silent phones. Room 14 was at the end of the hallway. The door was slightly open. I pushed it open slowly. Inside, a desk, a chair, an old filing cabinet, and on the desk, a phone, an old landline, from the original dispatch setup. Should have been disconnected years ago. The line was open. I could hear static. I picked it up slowly, put it to my ear, and heard breathing. I said nothing. The breathing continued, slow, steady, then a voice, very faint, almost not there. You came. Look in the cabinet, Carol. Bottom drawer. I opened the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet. Inside, a manila folder, old, dusty, with Sarah's handwriting on the front. Inside the folder, printed call logs, dozens of them, going back 5 years, all from the same number, all routed to the same operator. Sarah. Someone had been calling Sarah, repeatedly, for 5 years before her death. The calls were always at night, always the same duration, always the same number. A number that, when I ran it later that day, had never existed. not registered to any carrier, not assigned to any person. A number that, technically, could not make calls. At the back of the folder, a single handwritten note. Sarah's writing, shaky, like she had written it quickly. It said, "If something happens to me, and you are reading this, do not answer calls from unknown numbers at night. Do not listen to what they say. Do not go where they tell you. I made all 3 mistakes. Now I am one of them." I handed everything to the police that afternoon. They investigated for 2 months, found no explanation for the calls, found no explanation for the phone in room 14, found no explanation for the number. The case was quietly closed. I still work night shift at the dispatch center. I still answer calls every night. But there is one thing I do differently now. When an unknown number calls, in the middle of the night, and the voice on the other end knows my name, I don't answer. Because Sarah answered, every single time. And now, she is the one making the calls. If you ever receive a call from an unknown number, in the middle of the night, and the voice knows your name, do not listen. Do not go where it tells you. Because some calls are not asking for help. They are looking for someone to replace them. Sleep well. And if stories like this keep you up at night, you are not alone. Subscribe for more horror stories. Every week, new story, new nightmare. See you in the dark.